Welcome to Moscow, the vibrant heart of Russia, a city where history, culture, and architectural grandeur coexist with modern life. Today, we are taking you on an extraordinary journey to one of Moscow's most iconic landmarks, the State Historical Museum, which majestically crowns the northern end of Red Square. Right between the towering walls of the Kremlin and the colorful domes of St. Basil's Cathedral, the State Historical Museum is not just a building, it is a monument to Russia's rich and complex history. A place where millions of artifacts tell the story of a nation spanning thousands of years. Here, visitors can step back in time. From the earliest prehistoric settlements in Slavic tribes to the grandeur of the Tsardom of Russia, the sweeping reforms of Peter the Great, and the opulent reign of Catherine the Great. Every corner, every hall, and every exhibit invites you to explore the evolution of Russian society, culture, and identity. As we walk through its majestic red brick facade, with its ornate towers, spires, and intricate architectural details, you'll immediately feel the blend of Neo-Russian and medieval Russian styles, which make this museum one of the most photogenic and recognizable landmarks in Moscow. It is not only a treasure trove of historical artifacts, but also a masterpiece of architectural artistry that reflects the pride, vision, and cultural aspirations of 19th century Russia. In this video, we'll uncover the museum's most remarkable exhibits, explore its architectural marvels, and reveal fascinating stories behind Russia's past, from everyday life of ordinary citizens to the powerful empires that shaped the country's destiny. Whether you are a history enthusiast, a traveler seeking inspiration, or simply curious about Russia's fascinating journey through time, this virtual tour promises to be both enlightening and unforgettable. So, join us as we step inside the State Historical Museum, where history comes alive and every artifact has a story to tell. By the end of this journey, you'll not only know more about Russia's past, but also feel the cultural heartbeat of Moscow through this magnificent museum. The State Historical Museum is perfectly positioned at the northern end of Moscow's legendary Red Square, one of the most famous public squares in the world. This prime location places it directly opposite St. Basil's Cathedral and adjacent to the Kremlin, making it a central landmark in the heart of the city. Walking around Red Square, the museum's striking red brick facade, towering spires, and intricate decorative patterns immediately capture your attention, blending seamlessly with the historical and cultural significance of the area. Founded in 1872, the museum was conceived to preserve, study, and showcase Russia's vast history, from the earliest human settlements on its territory to the modern Russian state. The idea for the museum came during a time when the Russian Empire was eager to celebrate national heritage and identity, and it was designed as a monument not only to history but also to national pride. Its establishment was supported by donations from Russian citizens, private collectors, and the imperial family, reflecting a collective desire to honor and protect the country's past. The museum's architectural style, often described as Neo-Russian or Russian Revival, was carefully chosen to evoke the grandeur of medieval Russian architecture while also serving the functional needs of a modern museum. Its towers and turrets, each decorated with intricate motifs and ornate designs, create a visual dialogue with neighboring landmarks and the surrounding cityscape. This attention to detail ensures that the museum is not only a repository of history but also a symbol of Moscow's cultural sophistication. Inside, the museum spans multiple floors, featuring hundreds of rooms and exhibition halls, each dedicated to a different era, theme, or region of Russian history. Its vast collection, numbering over 4.5 million artifacts, is organized chronologically, allowing visitors to journey from prehistoric tools and artifacts to the Tsardom era, imperial collections, and folk culture, creating a seamless narrative of Russia's evolution over millennia. In essence, the State Historical Museum is not just a place to view artifacts, it is a living timeline of Russian civilization, offering visitors a chance to understand how the country's people, culture, and politics have evolved through centuries. Its location on Red Square ensures that every visit feels deeply connected to the larger story of Moscow and Russia, making it an essential destination for anyone seeking to understand the heart of the nation. The State Historical Museum is as much a masterpiece of architecture as it is a treasure trove of history. Its design reflects a deliberate blend of Neo-Russian and Russian Revival styles. Inspired by medieval Russian fortresses, monasteries, and traditional motifs, the museum was designed by the renowned architects Vladimir Sherwood and Anatoly Se, who aimed to create a building that would not only house Russia's historical artifacts but also symbolize the nation's pride, culture, and identity. From the outside, the museum is immediately recognizable by its striking red brick facade, a color chosen to harmonize with the surrounding red square and convey strength and permanence. Its towers, turrets, and spires, each adorned with intricate patterns, decorative arches, and ornamental cornices, give the building a majestic, almost fairy tale-like appearance. Some towers reach impressive heights, creating a visual rhythm that draws the eye upward and complements the grandeur of neighboring landmarks. Like St. Basil's Cathedral and the Kremlin walls, The main entrance is framed by elaborate carvings and features massive wooden doors with decorative metal, welcoming visitors into a world where history and artistry converge. Every detail of the exterior, from the sculpted windows to the patterned brickwork, reflects a careful attention to both aesthetics and symbolism. The architects sought to ensure that the museum itself was a narrative of Russian history, with each element of its design reflecting different aspects of the country's cultural heritage. Inside, the architectural sophistication continues. The museum's interior features high vaulted ceilings, grand staircases, and expansive galleries, all designed to give visitors a sense of awe and reverence. Decorative elements such as painted friezes, intricate molding, and gilded accents enrich the visitor experience, creating a space that feels both regal and historically grounded. The layout is organized to guide visitors chronologically, from prehistoric times to the modern era, ensuring that the architectural flow complements the story told by the exhibits. The building's design also demonstrates a blend of functionality and beauty. Wide corridors, large exhibition halls, and strategically placed windows allow natural light to illuminate artifacts, while maintaining a comfortable flow for visitors. The top floors provide panoramic views of Red Square, the Kremlin, and Moscow's cityscape, making the museum not just a center for historical exploration, but also a vantage point for appreciating the city's iconic skyline. In essence, the State Historical Museum stands as a testament to Russia's architectural ingenuity, cultural pride, and artistic vision. Its walls do more than hold history, they embody it, making the museum itself a living piece of Russia's past. Visiting it feels like stepping into a historical monument where architecture and heritage intertwine in perfect harmony. Stepping inside the State Historical Museum, visitors are immediately immersed in a timeline of Russia's rich and complex past. Beginning with the earliest days of human settlement on Russian soil, the museum's Ancient Russia collection spans thousands of years, showcasing artifacts that reveal the lives, beliefs, and ingenuity of the people who shaped the foundations of Russian civilization. The journey begins with prehistoric artifacts, including stone tools, pottery fragments, and early implements that highlight how ancient communities survived and thrived in the vast landscapes of what would later become Russia. These items, though simple in appearance, tell a story of adaptation, innovation, and human resilience in a challenging environment. Visitors can almost imagine the daily lives of hunters, gatherers, and early settlers as they crafted tools, hunted game, and navigated their world. But, moving forward, the museum displays a rich collection of early Slavic artifacts, including decorative jewelry, household items, religious symbols, and textiles. These pieces provide a window into the social structures, traditions, and spiritual beliefs of the early Russian peoples. Intricately carved amulets and ceremonial objects reveal a society deeply connected to both nature and the emerging cultural identity of the region. The collection also includes archaeological finds from significant historical sites, such as burial mounds, settlements, and ancient fortresses. These artifacts shed light on trade, craftsmanship, and everyday life across different regions, illustrating how local communities interacted, traded, and evolved over centuries. Some items, like elaborately decorated ceramics or finely wrought tools, demonstrate a level of sophistication and artistry that challenges the notion of primitive early societies. In addition to objects of daily life, the museum houses rare manuscripts and religious artifacts from the early centuries, revealing the spiritual and intellectual evolution of the Russian people. Icons, illuminated texts, and ceremonial objects illustrate the deep connection between faith, art, and society, providing a sense of continuity, from ancient traditions to later periods of Russian history. Visitors, walking through this section of the museum, gain a profound understanding of how Russian civilization was built from the ground up, with each artifact offering insight into the people, culture, and environment that shaped the nation. The chronological arrangement allows for a seamless journey, where each display builds on the previous one, creating a narrative that is both educational and immersive. In essence, the Ancient Russia collection is not just a display of objects, it is a story of human perseverance, creativity, and cultural evolution, offering visitors the chance to connect with the very roots of Russian identity. Every tool, ornament, and relic invites you to imagine the lives of those who walked this land centuries before Moscow became the bustling capital it is today. As we move deeper into the State Historical Museum, visitors enter the era of medieval Russia, a period marked by the rise of powerful principalities, religious influence, and the formation of a national identity. This section of the museum focuses on the Kievan Rus, Novgorod, Vladimir Suzdal, and later Muscovite states, presenting a vivid picture of political, social, and cultural development between the 9th and 17th centuries. Here, you'll find armors, weapons, and military equipment that illustrate the evolution of Russian warfare, from chainmail and swords to helmets and shields. These artifacts tell stories of battles, defense strategies, and the constant struggles for territorial control. Each piece reflects not only the practical needs of medieval combat but also the artistry and craftsmanship of the period. The museum also houses manuscripts, chronicles, and illuminated texts, offering insights into the intellectual and spiritual life of medieval Russia. These written works reveal how religion, governance, and culture were intertwined, with monasteries and religious centers acting as hubs of education, artistry, and historical record-keeping. Visitors can marvel at intricately decorated icons and religious artifacts that were central to daily life and spiritual practice. As the exhibits progress into the imperial era, the museum displays treasures from the reigns of Peter the Great, Catherine the Great, and others, highlighting Russia's transformation into a modern European power. Visitors can explore royal regalia, ceremonial weapons, and opulent clothing, each item reflecting the grandeur and ambitions of the Russian Empire. Portraits of monarchs, official documents, and lavish court accessories provide a glimpse into the political power, diplomacy, and cultural sophistication of Imperial Russia. Special exhibits focus on the development of Russian cities, trade networks, and social structures, illustrating how the empire expanded geographically and culturally. Artifacts from this period, including coins, seals, and decorative objects, showcase the wealth and reach of the Tsar, while also revealing the daily life of the nobility and influential citizens. This section of the museum creates a comprehensive narrative, guiding visitors through the rise of Russian statehood, the consolidation of power in Moscow, and the country's emergence as a significant player on the European stage. Every artifact tells a story of ambition, artistry, and resilience, offering a deeper understanding of the forces that shaped Russia's political and cultural identity. In essence, the medieval and imperial exhibits are a bridge between ancient traditions and modern Russia, allowing visitors to trace the growth of a nation, understand the complexity of its rulers and institutions, and appreciate the legacy of a civilization that influenced the course of world history. While the previous sections highlight rulers, armies, and empires, the State Historical Museum also shines a light on the lives of ordinary Russians, revealing how everyday people shaped the culture, traditions, and identity of the nation. This section of the museum immerses visitors in the rich tapestry of folk life, offering a glimpse into the customs, crafts, and domestic practices that endured through centuries. One of the highlights is the collection of traditional folk costumes, showcasing regional variations across Russia, from embroidered seraphims and colorful peasant dresses to festive ceremonial attire. These garments reflect both practical functionality and artistic expression. Visitors can examine intricate needlework, decorative motifs, and vibrant patterns that symbolize local traditions, social status, and regional identities. The museum also displays household items, tools, and everyday objects that illustrate life in rural and urban communities. Pottery, wooden utensils, woven baskets, and textiles demonstrate the skills and resourcefulness of craftsmen and families. These artifacts provide insight into how people cooked, stored food, built homes, and created objects that were both functional and beautiful. Musical instruments and performance items are another fascinating component. The museum houses balalaikas, gusli, and other traditional instruments, along with items used in dances, rituals, and festivals. These exhibits show how music, storytelling, and performance were central to community life, celebrations, and seasonal rituals, fostering social cohesion and cultural continuity. Religious and ceremonial artifacts also play a key role in this section. Visitors can explore icons, ritual vessels, and household shrines, which reflect the spiritual and moral values embedded in everyday life. These objects reveal how faith and folklore intertwine, shaping family traditions, seasonal celebrations, and local customs. In addition, the museum presents crafts and trade artifacts, including tools for weaving, blacksmithing, and woodworking, highlighting the skills passed down through generations. These pieces allow visitors to appreciate the artistry and labor that form the backbone of Russian communities and supported daily life across regions and eras. Overall, the folk culture and everyday life exhibits create a vivid and humanizing portrait of Russia's past. They remind visitors that history is not only written by kings and generals, but also by the ordinary people whose lives, traditions, and creativity have shaped a nation. Walking through this section, one gains a deeper understanding of how culture, family, and community formed the foundation of Russian society. Beyond its permanent galleries, the State Historical Museum is also renowned for its temporary exhibitions and special collections, which bring fresh perspectives to Russia's history and culture. These rotating displays ensure that every visit offers something new, whether it's a focus on a specific historical period, a rare artifact, or an international collaboration that broadens the scope of the museum experience. Temporary exhibitions often explore unique or lesser-known aspects of Russian history, For example, the museum has hosted exhibitions on medieval manuscripts, ancient trade routes, Russian exploration, and the evolution of military technology. These exhibits are carefully curated to complement the permanent collection while providing deeper insight into specialized topics, offering both educational and immersive experiences for visitors. In addition to historical themes, the museum occasionally hosts art-focused exhibitions, including iconography, decorative arts, and photography from both Russian and international artists. These displays bridge the gap between history and art, demonstrating how cultural expression evolves alongside historical events. Visitors can see how artistic traditions intersect with political, social, and spiritual developments throughout Russia's past. The museum's special collections are particularly impressive. They include rare coins, medals, manuscripts, royal documents, and archival materials that are not always on public display. These items provide a unique glimpse into the elite, scholarly, and ceremonial aspects of Russian society, revealing stories that are often hidden from ordinary historical narratives. Researchers, historians, and enthusiasts alike are drawn to these collections for their authenticity and historical significance. One of the most exciting features of temporary exhibitions is the opportunity to see artifacts that travel from other Russian museums or international institutions. This allows visitors to experience cultural exchanges and historical treasures that might otherwise be inaccessible, adding an element of global context to the museum's narrative. Overall, the temporary exhibitions and special collections section demonstrates the museum's dynamic nature. It is not simply a static repository of objects but a living institution, continually evolving to tell new stories, explore different perspectives, and engage visitors with fresh, thought-provoking content. These exhibitions enrich the overall experience, ensuring that every trip to the State Historical Museum is both educational and memorable. Visiting the State Historical Museum is an experience that goes beyond simply viewing artifacts. It is an immersive journey through Russian history and culture. To make the most of your visit, it's important to plan ahead and understand both the layout and the offerings of the museum. First, allow at least 2 to 3 hours for a complete tour of the museum. With multiple floors, hundreds of exhibition halls, and millions of artifacts, there is much to see, and a leisurely pace ensures that you can fully appreciate the historical context and intricate details of each display. Guided tours are highly recommended, especially for non-Russian speakers. The museum offers English-speaking guides and audio guides that provide detailed explanations of the artifacts, historical events, and cultural significance. This can greatly enhance your understanding and appreciation of the exhibits, particularly in sections featuring ancient manuscripts, imperial regalia, and folk culture. Photography is allowed in most areas of the museum, but some sections may require special permission or restrict flash photography. Be sure to check the rules upon entry to avoid any issues. Taking photos of intricate details, costumes, and architectural features can help you document your visit and create lasting memories. For a unique perspective, visit the upper floors where panoramic views of Red Square, St. Basil's Cathedral, and the Kremlin are visible through the windows. These vistas provide not only incredible photo opportunities but also a sense of the museum's central place within the historical and cultural heart of Moscow. Seasonal timing can also enhance your visit. In the summer months, Red Square is lively with outdoor activities, festivals, and street performances, adding to the atmosphere of your museum trip. In winter, the snow-covered Red Square contrasts beautifully with the museum's red brick facade, offering a magical, almost storybook-like setting. For families and casual visitors, the museum provides interactive exhibits and child-friendly explanations, making history accessible and engaging for all ages. School groups and tourists alike can enjoy hands-on learning experiences that bring Russia's past to life. Finally, consider combining your visit with a walk around Red Square and nearby landmarks, such as the Gum Department Store, the Lenin Mausoleum, and St. Basil's Cathedral, to fully immerse yourself in Moscow's historical core. In short, the visitor experience at the State Historical Museum is about more than just artifacts. It is about engagement, exploration, and connection. By planning ahead, taking advantage of guides, and exploring both the interior and surrounding areas, every visitor can enjoy a rich, unforgettable journey through Russian history. The State Historical Museum is full of fascinating details and little-known stories that make it even more intriguing for visitors. Beyond its exhibits and architecture, the museum itself is a treasure trove of historical trivia that adds depth and character to the experience. One remarkable fact is that the museum was partially funded by donations from ordinary Russian citizens. During the 19th century, this collective effort reflects the pride and patriotism of the people, who wanted to create a monument that would celebrate Russia's heritage and preserve its history for future generations. The museum's towers reach up to 70 meters, making them visible across Red Square and contributing to the building's majestic presence. Each tower is decorated with intricate details inspired by medieval Russian fortresses, giving the museum a storybook-like appearance that continues to captivate photographers and tourists alike. During the Soviet era, parts of the museum underwent changes. Some exhibits were temporarily relocated, yet the museum itself was never closed, demonstrating the resilience and continued importance of preserving Russia's historical treasures. Even during periods of political and social upheaval, the museum houses one of the largest collections of Russian coins, medals, and state documents, offering a unique glimpse into the economic, political, and ceremonial history of the nation. These artifacts are invaluable for historians and collectors, providing insight into how Russia developed its trade systems, governance, and diplomatic relationships over centuries. Another fascinating aspect is the architectural symbolism embedded throughout the building. Every decorative element, from arches to friezes, tells a story or represents a connection to Russian history and folklore. The design is meant to evoke a sense of continuity and national identity, linking the past to the present. Finally, the museum's location on Red Square positions it at the heart of Moscow's historical, cultural, and political life. Standing here, visitors can not only explore the artifacts inside but also witness the living history of the city itself, from state ceremonies to festivals and daily urban life. In short, the State Historical Museum is not only a repository of artifacts but also a monument rich in stories, symbolism, and historical significance. Every brick, tower, and exhibit carries a piece of Russia's past, making it a place where trivia, facts, and history come alive for anyone who walks through its doors. The State Historical Museum is more than just a building filled with artifacts. It is a living testament to Russia's history, culture, and identity. From the prehistoric tools of early settlers to the opulence of the Tsar, from the daily life of ordinary citizens to the grandeur of imperial courts, every corner of this museum tells a story that connects the past to the present. Visiting the museum is like walking through a timeline of Russia itself. You can feel the evolution of a nation in the artifacts, the architecture, and even the very walls that surround you. It is a place where history is not only preserved but celebrated, where every exhibit invites reflection, curiosity, and awe. Whether you are a history enthusiast, an art lover, or a traveler seeking inspiration, the State Historical Museum offers an experience that is both educational and emotionally resonant. It is a space where the grand narratives of empires meet the intimate stories of everyday people, creating a multifaceted picture of a nation that has shaped and been shaped by centuries of human endeavor. Before leaving, take a moment to admire the museum's exterior, the surrounding Red Square, and the breathtaking views from the upper floors. Each perspective offers a new way to appreciate not just the museum but Moscow itself, a city where history, architecture, and culture are intertwined in a living, breathing landscape. If this virtual journey has sparked your curiosity, imagine the experience in person, the sight of the red brick towers, the grandeur of the halls, and the stories behind every artifact. The State Historical Museum is a destination that educates, inspires, and captivates, leaving visitors with a deep appreciation for the richness of Russian history. Whether you're planning a trip to Moscow or exploring from afar, let the State Historical Museum be your gateway into the heart of Russia. Remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon for more immersive journeys into the world's most remarkable museums. History awaits, and every artifact has a story to tell. Don't miss it.